Drew Petterson found guilty. Clinton and Obama kick ass at the DNC. These two guys are still gay. And the teachers go on strike. And there's this guy. Wait a second. Why is my picture being used? Wait. Scorpion! Alright, welcome to the show, everybody. It's a big day today. You know why? Because I'm shooting 2 parts of Reaper's Rants today. Yeah, you're gonna be in for a treat today. Very good treat. As you can see here, I got notes and shit. You know, shit's gotta get real if I got notes. Let's kick off with what happened last night. Breaking news last night. The CTU was renegotiating with the CPS, as you guys know, and they called a strike for declining their terms with that CPS had brought to them. The CPS offered them 3% of a raise, and then the next year is going to be 2% of a raise, and then the following year is going to be another 2% of the raise. They still declined it and called a strike on that, and now kids are off of school. They have the day off. This has been the first strike that the teachers have pulled off in the last 25 years. Now, not only did they deny the raise, but they came back to the press conference and told them they had a whole bunch of list of demands. Now, the demands I got here, they're pretty self-explanatory. I really don't blame them for what they want. I mean, there's some things I sort of don't agree with, but there's some things that, yeah, they're reasonable things to strike about, but like I said, a few of the things that they're striking about are better health benefits, air conditioners. They want some of the released teachers from the the CTU to be either rehired or reevaluated. I'm not sure about that one. Bigger classrooms. That one is one that I really don't agree with, and they want the evaluation to be a lot different because they said some of the evaluations are terminating teachers a year after they're evaluated. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with these teachers that they want. I mean, like I said, the other demands I agree with. Just the bigger classroom I don't really agree with because, you know, as a guy that was in the CPS, as an ex-student, I should say, that was in school, a smaller classroom is a lot more better than a bigger classroom because you got kids that goof around when they think the teacher's not looking. And if a bigger classroom is brought to them, that's advantage for the kids that want to act out. That's just my opinion. After the CTU declared a strike, Rahm Emanuel and the CPD had spoke afterwards. And basically, they're advising the students, and this is out to the parents that don't know what to do with their kids if they're trying to go to work and don't know where to take their children. There are 144 other schools. I think they're alternative. I'm not sure. They're providing half days for the children. They're also going to have warm meals and shelter during the strike. There's also 60 churches around the Chicago area that are providing half days for your children. From 8:30 to 12:30, that will also have breakfast and lunch there. Now, here's my take on this, and I'm not taking. And this is just from my opinion, especially for me being an ex-student from the CPS. My thing is, you know, I'm not gonna take sides about this either. I'm not taking CPS side, and I'm not taking CTU side. What I'm more concerned about are the kids. The kids should be in school. I don't care what you're striking about. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, a wise man once told me, God rest his soul. But I agree. You guys, I mean, I understand both parties. One side needs teachers. The other side wants demands to be made. Reasonable demands to be made at that. But what I'm more concerned about is the children. The children need their academic learning. They need that. They need an education. I mean, most of the time, the crime rates have risen in Chicago. I hope they know that. And the fact that these kids are out of school, and some of them aren't probably even going to the YMCA's or the churches or any of the alternative schools or whatever to go to these half days. I mean, the half days aren't, they're not going to be providing any learning material to these kids. They're just going to be sitting there doing independent reading and independent writing. It's like I said, if it was my kid, I would teach him myself. I would use a computer and teach him myself, but I'm a bright kid in this generation. In my generation, I don't have kids. So, well, like I said, kids need to go to school. And you know what? I asked around on Facebook about how others felt about the situation. I actually got 2 comments on the status I made last night. I know it was late, but it was around the time I actually got the intel about the strike. So my apologies if anybody else didn't chime in and want to say something and want to be aired today. But I have one comment from a buddy of mine, Trey, and his comment was, and I quote, "When it all comes down to it, they have to pay the teachers and aides for the longer day. Kids come first, and the city continues to try and take from its residents in order to raise revenue. So pay these teachers so they can try and educate the future." Now, I completely agree with that. That's basically going along with what I had to say. Like I said, both parties have good reasons to argue, but the teacher striking a week after school, it's a bit of a downer to me. I still don't quite get that yet. Another comment, I really like this comment, is from Joyce. I love this comment. I laughed my ass off when I read this. It says here, and I quote, "The teachers deserve what they are asking for. They do a lot for our children. School is like a second home for our children, especially for the single parents who are trying to support their kids. They find money to put flat screens on the red line. They can find money for our teachers." End quote. Now, that quote there, I fell in love with because it makes a whole bunch of sense. The city does have a lot of money to do ridiculous things. Like Rahm Emanuel and whoever is behind, they're trying to revamp Wrigley Field. Now, do I think it's necessary? No, not really. But I mean, if it starts falling apart, I would say so. And I don't think Wrigley Field is falling apart since I last been there. So yeah, and then the red lines having TVs. Yeah, like enough crime is going on in this city. You're gonna put flat screens in the fucking red line station. Pretty smart on you guys. I applaud you for your stupidity. Alright. Well, on to bigger and better news, man. You guys ready for this? Drew Petterson is found guilty. Yes! Woo! That motherfucker's going down! Oh man, I was waiting all weekend to hear this, and I'm sad to say this, man. I was sitting down watching TV. I was actually checking out Steve Harvey's little talk show. I haven't got a chance to sit down and actually enjoy it. So I sat down and watched it, and then the breaking news comes in. Next thing you know, they said the jury has finally came down to a verdict. And I was praying I hear that one good word. And it did come out that motherfucker is guilty. So, no more joking around, no more smart-ass remarks from those dumb-ass defense attorneys. Oh my God, it's all over. It's all over. And I swear, I don't, if they would have let him get away with that, I honestly think that would have been another Casey Anthony. That would have been another Casey Anthony trial again. I mean, the last time we saw that happen, when I saw the Casey Anthony trial happen, I didn't like it. I still think to this day that she had something to do with the death of her daughter. That's just me saying. It is my show. I have the right to throw my opinion out there. And do I still think OJ did it? Somebody asked me that on Twitter if I still think OJ did it. Yeah, I think he did. I think he still did it. Nothing's changed my mind. That was years ago. I was a kid then. Now that I learned about it, I still think he did it. I still think he did it. Funny story, actually. They think that OJ, well, not OJ, I'm sorry. They think that Johnny Cochran had tempered with the glove that OJ was told to put on during the trial. And as you guys saw in the news earlier last week, that the glove didn't fit all the way. Now, I'm gonna move away from the OJ stuff. You guys should look that up though. I really look it up. It's really interesting. It sparked my interest last week. Moving on from that. So Peterson is put away. Forget this. 60 years. And we already know what this fucker looks like. You already saw at the beginning of the show. I'm not showing his face again on my fucking show ever again because that fucker's going away for life. He's already got gray hair. He's wrinkled to God knows wherever else he's wrinkled at. By the time his 6 years are up, they're going to open that door and they're going to see the skeleton of fucking Drew Petterson right there. Oh, justice is so sweet when it's in the right hands. And I have to give my big props to the jurors. To the jurors and also the other people around the Chicagoland that supported this trial. I had to give my respect to all of you because I thought I was the only one that was saying guilty in my house. I actually prayed the night before the verdict. I know it's bad to pray when you want something, but I was praying that Drew Petterson was going to jail because that motherfucker, I swear to God, needed to be in jail. Alright, so that takes care of part 1 of 2. Click on the link above me and you'll probably see part 2 somewhere. So stay tuned. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not done yet. I'm almost done. See you guys later.